Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Roger, and this is your daily tarot map for Saturday, September 26th, 2015, using tarot to create the life you want. Well, as usual, I want to thank you all for liking these videos, for sharing them on your social networks, for subscribing to this channel. I really appreciate your support. So today we conclude our work with the Byzantine Tarot, created by John Matthews and Cilla Conway. As tomorrow, being Sunday, we begin working with a new deck for the coming week. And I have a fun deck planned, so be sure to tune in tomorrow to see what that is. So, on to today's draw using the Byzantine Tarot. The three cards drawn randomly from the deck today were the Seven of Swords, Sophia, and the 10 of Coins. So our first card today is the Seven of Swords, and here we see the captain of an army using a secret weapon against his enemy, Greek fire. When faced with a dicey situation, he chose a strategy that gave him an upper hand on his enemies. With a bit of planning and courage, he was able to ward off the opposing army. Now, though, notice he isn't doing it alone here. His shipmates are also there with him, swords raised. So perhaps his entire crew came up with the idea for a weapon together during a brainstorming session. You know, we all have a secret weapon that we can fall back on, though perhaps we don't always know what it is or realize it for what it is. What are your strengths? What can help you drive back adversity? Or what is it that you suspect you might be good at but haven't brought it out into the open or taken it to the next level? Well, perhaps the secret lies with our next card, the Sophia, the Byzantine equivalent of the High Priestess. Now, she represents wisdom, the kind of wisdom that often comes with experience. You know, she's looking She's about looking within for the answers and taking a peaceful approach to the situation. She's often associated with, in fact, contemplation and meditation. Now, at first, she seems to be the opposite of our first card, in which we see ourselves in the midst of a battle, but we must be careful not to mistake her peacefulness for cowardice, for indeed her knowledge has made her a most worthy opponent. And she also sits on a throne, so she is, after all, a ruler. So again, you are asked to look within to discover your own strengths. You know, many of us don't realize the extent of our talents, all those things that we've learned on our own throughout the years, or even through classes and degree programs. You know, whatever situation you found yourself in this week can be remedied through that knowledge that you've already possessed. And now we've seen this week there are some challenging situations, but it looks like those are coming to an end and as a week draws to a close. But just by taking a little bit of strategizing on your part, so use that inner knowledge and wisdom and then run with it. Now, in our last card, we see a Byzantine family, complete with dog, standing together in front of their comfortable house. Now, this is a card of home and family, but it's also a card of togetherness. What may seemingly have come apart can be brought back together again. Now, this is a card of reaching past any difficulties you might have been facing and then attaining that sense of stability. You know, this also might be a call for you to include those who matter most to you, the people that are important to you in your life. You know, often when we venture down new paths, we tend to keep it to ourselves, perhaps afraid of what others might say or think of us. But you'd be surprised at how accepting our loved ones can be, or at least this certainly has been my experience. And people have surprised me in the process. So from this card and the first card, that Seven of Swords, I'm getting this idea of the power of numbers. That is to say, we often accomplish more together than we do or can alone. In fact, the Sophia in the middle card seems to be gesturing to the two cards flanking her, perhaps trying to point out the importance of including the people that we care about in all aspects of our life. You know, we are often more productive at the time when we have others to rely on and bring others into the fold than when we were running solo. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be directly involved in what we're doing. Sometimes just knowing that the support of our loved ones is behind us helps us to dare to do things we normally wouldn't try on our own. So the message today for these 3 cards is: teamwork is the secret to achieving uncommon results. It not only divides tasks, but it also multiplies successes. So today's advice card comes from the Symbolon deck, and the card drawn randomly from the deck was the Burden. Well, I'd certainly say that today's advice card is relevant to today's 3-card draw. So here we see a man struggling to carry a huge rock. Now, this is a card of burden, of being weighed down, of doing things the hard way. So this card tells me 2 things. You may be secretly carrying a burden, and simply telling others about it may immediately begin to lighten your load. And it also might imply that bringing others into the fold will make your work easier and increase your chances of success. All themes that we saw in today's draw. So depending on your personal situation, it might be time to turn that me into a we. I've always personally found that the more somebody is behind me, the more success I tend to enjoy. And that's it for your daily tarot map. If you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you click the like button below. And as always, visit my website at tarot-dude.com, where you'll find all of my contact information. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Brightest blessings.